I, 33M, caught my fiancé, 32F, lying. Do I bother trying to salvage what's left? I caught my fiancé, girlfriend of 9 years, lying to me in a pretty significant way. To preface this, we were set to be married and I had a medical issue that caused us to postpone our wedding for several months. We fought about that and I put my foot down, saying my health both short and long term was more important than a wedding. She screamed and yelled and cried and even got her mom involved, and before the end of that argument and day she told me to leave multiple times. I had enough of the way I was being treated and talked to, so I packed a suitcase and went to stay with my parents for just under 2 weeks, and they only live 15 minutes away. She begged me to return nearly every day while I was gone, but I didn't want to walk back into the same situation and same argument. When I finally did return home, I noticed changes in her behavior. She had exhibited these before, but not in the same magnitude. Always on her phone, quick to put it face down when I was around, quick to close out of specific apps like Snapchat. I didn't think much of it at first, as we had a good trusting relationship for years and I never doubted her before. This type of behavior became more and more frequent and my suspicions started to grow. My overthinking got the best of me and I picked up her phone to look at the lock screen for notifications, and I did this on 2 or 3 occasions. Once when she was fresh out of the shower and another when she was constantly attached to her phone. I saw Snapchat notifications that someone with a male username had saved her Snap. The person's name was not of anyone she talked about or that I knew existed. My suspicions grew more as she would go out late claiming to be with her girlfriends at a specific bar, restaurant, but then wouldn't come home until late, even though the place she said she was at closed 2 hours prior. Again, I tried not to be bothered by it as I was healing and out of work and trying to mend the relationship from the argument that caused all of this in the first place. I know I should have asked, but I didn't want to accuse her as I didn't have any hard evidence. I decided to collect evidence. I put an AirTag in her car without her knowledge, tested for function and confirmed it was working properly. She told me she was going out with her girlfriend from work and I said okay and have fun. According to the AirTag, she was at a bar that she had never been to before to my knowledge and was not the type of bar she would typically go to, and it was definitely not a bar her friend would have suggested or gone to. She came home earlier than normal, so I let it slide. The next time she went to go see the same work friend, she was going to stay over at her house. Now, I know the friend and I've talked to her multiple times before, so I didn't think much of it. The AirTag wasn't working 100%, so I never got a good fix on position until the next morning when she was nearly an hour per hour and half east of where she claimed to be. When I asked her how things were with her girlfriend, she said fine and that they went to breakfast. It was a wild-faced lie. I knew she was never at that place. I bought a better tracker with active live feed and placed it in her car without her knowledge. She left to go see her girlfriend again, and I had to stay home as I had a doctor's appointment I couldn't miss. The tracker picked up her car over an hour away and nowhere near where she said she'd be, and she was gone for over 5-6 hours for what originally was supposed to be a lunch. I even called her when it was getting late and she picked up and lied about where she was and who she was with. The friend she claimed she was with typically takes the time to say hi to me and ask how I'm doing when she's on the phone with my fiancé or when I call her and she's there. But she rushed me off the phone and within 10-15 minutes her car was on the move and it took her an hour to get home. Everything was starting to add up, especially when she became defensive when I asked about what she was doing and such. I said to myself I'd give her one more chance. She did it again, claiming to go get dinner with the same. I waiting for her to take the wrong route on the GPS tracker. I grabbed my things and followed the tracker. I found her car in the same random parking lot as last time. Figuring she was picked up, I waited. She ended up posting a story on social media. Eventually I was able to ID the restaurant from Google and social media. I quick started over to the restaurant, but I got there too late and she was gone. Say what you want, I know it sounds psycho-stalker-ish, but I never once questioned her about where she goes or who she was with. I waited in the parking lot and sent her a text asking about when she would be home. Shortly after that a car pulled up next to hers and she got out. I took a photo and video and quick drive out of the lot and headed home. I beat her home by about 10-15 minutes. When she arrived I acted like nothing happened. She lied about where she was and what she was doing and who she was with as I asked the normal questions of how was dinner, how was her friend, and so on. She even tried to hide the bag that she took home her leftovers in, and I confirmed I had the correct restaurant from earlier. Next day I spent the day with her as if nothing happened, went with her to go get her nails done and everything. It was festering and eating away at me all day, so as we got ready for bed and lay down I asked her how long she had been lying to me and who was the guy she was seeing. She tried to deny everything until I told her exactly where she was the previous night and details down to the guy's car make, model, color. She continued to try and lie, and every time I caught her I'd tell her. Turns out the night she didn't come home she stayed at a hotel with this guy. She swears up and down nothing happened and he's just a friend. I feel like such an idiot for wanting to believe her and believe she remained sexually faithful. She didn't help herself at all by deleting every trace of evidence on her phone like calls and texts and such. So when she offered up her phone for me to go through, it wasn't even worth the effort. Part of me wants to fix this and try to mend things. Part of me wants to walk away from it altogether. Sorry for the long read, there's just so much, and I know I'm leaving stuff out like her hiding her phone calls when I come home unexpectedly and such. I just don't know what to do. I've never had to deal with a situation like this worth salvaging, or is this with the investment of time? Is it just part of a sunk cost fallacy? Just tell her parents that it's over because she cheated. Tell them who if you know his name. Let all your mutual friends know too. Any wedding stuff that needs to be cancelled, done that too. Let your parents know because you're going to need the support. There's nothing left to salvage, is there? So she lies to you 20 times and you catch her lying, but on the 21st lie she says, "Really, I spent the night and nothing physical happened," and you actually believe her? Don't ever go into real estate or poker, man. You should have confronted the two of them when he was dropping her off at the parking lot. It's a lot harder to be walked on when you are standing up. Update me. As Tom Petty said, it's wake up time. Time to open up your eyes. She's cheating on you, and she has been for a while. No one goes to a hotel with a guy unless she plans on sleeping with him. Even if you forgive her, you'll never be able to trust her again, and you'll always be policing her whereabouts. That's not a healthy relationship. It's over, man. Do I bother trying to salvage what's left? Sorry, but there's nothing left. When you get to a point where you're busy playing detective on your partner, then it's over. Even if she didn't actually sleep with him, which I don't believe, but let's go off of what she's claiming, does that mean her actions are okay? She met up with some guy in secret, had dinner with him and spent the night in his room. Are you okay with that? Time to move on, and make sure she doesn't become pregnant. Sunk cost. Time to let that one go. If she's lying to you about things that are pretty serious, that's enough of a line of red flags to run. 32-year-olds don't have sleepovers in a hotel with friends where nothing happens. Ex-mother-in-law, 50F, invited me, 30M, to her family Thanksgiving dinner and not my ex-wife, 29F. Bad idea? I've been divorced for a year now from my ex-wife. It was a pretty nasty divorce because she had a 2-year affair. Before that we had been together since we were 18 years old. In that time I became very close to my in-laws, almost to the point of them basically being my mother and father. I haven't spoken to my father in years, on a separate issue, and my mother passed away when I was little. My ex-wife's family has been my family for most of my adult life. I never told her parents about my ex-wife's affair, and my ex-wife lied to them telling them we're divorcing because we fell out of love. Somehow it slipped from her sister to her parents and they were furious. They ended up sort of cutting her off, but not completely, mostly because of our daughters. My ex-mother-in-law has invited me to Thanksgiving dinner with my ex-wife's family. I told her I didn't think it was a good idea, and I'm not ready to be in the same room as my ex-wife. I also informed her that I have a girlfriend who I plan on spending Thanksgiving with. My mother-in-law informed me that she would tell my ex-wife not to come if I wanted and to bring my girlfriend. I don't want to be the reason my ex-wife spends Thanksgiving alone, even though she caused all of this. Her boyfriend from the affair left her during the divorce. At the same time, it's not my fault she cheated. Also, I have full custody of our son and he'll be with me for Thanksgiving. For my daughters, I want them to be around family, so maybe I should just put my anger and feelings aside for them and have my ex-wife present as well. I'd celebrate with my kids and the GF, and offer to come by the in-laws another day for the kids to visit. Your ex caused this, everyone knows, but getting her uninvited will cause issues. I'd merely try to avoid that for the kids' sake. If that's as far as I go, my kids would be celebrating with me. If that causes some annoyances, the ex can suck it up. If her parents are mad the kids aren't there, that's part of the fallout of her actions. Tell mother-in-law that you don't want to be the cause of ex being disinvited, but would like to come over, maybe Saturday or Sunday, for leftovers and spending time with them. That you would like them to meet your girlfriend down the road, if it looks like it might be long-term, and have her meet your family. Between holidays is less stressful on everyone. The ex being disinvited would probably make co-parenting more difficult, and that may cause blowback on your daughters from their mom. Tell ex-mother-in-law this and show her you still love them as family, but what's best for the kids should come first. I would have Thanksgiving with your girlfriend and kids and make plans to visit the former in-laws the next day or weekend. Why do you have full custody of the son? Was it due to his age? Or, my ex is the one who cheated and I'm still close to his mom, but I would never put my mill in a position she has to excuse him to include me. That sounds messy as fuck. My girlfriend, 29F, nearly cheated on me, 29M, any advice? Hi guys, girls. Pretty much as the title suggests, but for some context. Me and my girlfriend are both flight attendants, so traveling around a hell of a lot, and sometimes we can be passing ships. This month particularly so. We've been very unlucky with our work rosters this month, and we've not seen each other for about 3 weeks. But we've been together for over 3 years. We know the drill. Long story short, I've noticed she was acting weird over the phone, text, FaceTime, etc., but thought nothing of it. She gets home today and told me that we need to talk. Heart immediately sank, of course. She proceeds to tell me that she had been going through a dark time pretty much the whole trip, 9-day trip. Close to her dad's death anniversary, also a year on from when we were having a little blip. All of this was on her mind, so she decided to get hammered. She proceeds to then tell me that there was a guy at the bar who she knew from working with on a previous flight, which is very common in our line of work. My girlfriend and her crew join his crew and all have drinks together, to which point my girlfriend tell me things started to get quite flirtatious between the two of them. She admits it was 50-50. Touching hands, legs, arms, etc. General flirting. The thing that has really hit me hard is this. When the guy left to get a taxi, she admitted to asking him if he would like her to go back with him. To which he said we shouldn't. She then tells me she messaged him saying she wanted to kiss him and that she was ready to risk a 3-year relationship with me. The second night, she decides to get hammered again, and this guy is in there again. Again, flirting, etc. But this time, before he leaves, he apparently grabs her head and kisses her and walks away, gets in the taxi and leaves. To which she started sending messages such as, "You can't leave after kissing me like that, blah blah blah." You get the point. She has come home and told me all of this instantly, not tried to hide it. But I honestly don't know what to do. I really don't, because through the way she has reacted and been open about it, I believe it wouldn't happen again. But I just don't know if I'll ever be able to get past it. The thought of her openly saying to somebody that she was willing to risk a 3-year relationship or that she wanted to kiss him, etc. I don't really know what I'm hoping to get out of this, really. Advice, insights, perspective maybe? I'll be really grateful for anything, because honestly I'm lying on bed here absolutely broken, just not knowing what to do. If you read this far, I really do appreciate it, and thank you, Red Heart. Edit. She has come home absolutely distraught, and non-stop apologizing and begging for forgiveness, saying how she fucked up and wants a life with me. None of that makes it right, just forgot to add into post. Didn't nearly cheated on you, she cheated on you. Obviously you know what the correct solution is, but if you don't see that as the way, then you're gonna need to come to terms with what happened, aka live in a constant state of anxiety, depression, stress, worry, and try to mend your relationship thinking back at the fact she told a guy she was willing to risk it all to sleep with him. Add to that the fact you will never have the ability to trust your girlfriend again when she's out on work trips. Dude, she cheated on you. Just because the deed didn't happen doesn't mean she didn't want it to happen. She was actively trying. It shows a great deal of disrespect. Now that this happened, and based on your profession, how much is it going to mess with you and be in the back of your head now? She can be away and do the same thing. The only reason it didn't happen is because he didn't let it happen. That's wild. Do you know who the guy is? Can you talk to him to get his side of the story? I don't want to diminish what she's going through, but she was in a dark spot because it was the anniversary of a hard time in her life. Just what is she going to do the next time the hard time happens? I feel like the anniversary sucks, but is nowhere as tragic as the actual event. Next tragedy occurs and who knows what happens. Seriously, I think you need to reach out to the guy and hear his side. Maybe it's worse than she says. Last note. You are entitled to feel how you feel. Don't do what's best for her or for your relationship. Do what's best for you. Dump her. She cheated. She knew exactly what she was doing. She probably would have had sex with him the first night if he wanted it. You deserve better. Damn, that's tough. What does she want? She initiated action with the other guy, straight up told him she would risk your relationship for him, but then confessed all this to you. Like, what the hell? Was she upset? Remorseful? How is the state of your relationship? She failed the girlfriend test. Do not proceed to house and kids or even fiancé. Update me. My 28F boyfriend 28M told me the reason why he stopped cooking for me. Advice? Hiya everybody. This is just me asking for advice on what I should do, as I feel like everything I tried to do is just making it worse. I, 28F, have been dating my boyfriend, 28M, for a 1 year and 4 months. July 2023. And we have recently moved in together in March 2024. We both work full-time jobs. He works in a constructor warehouse, 7,330 p.m. Monday-Friday. I work full-time in a retail store Sunday-Thursday with a little bit of a chaotic schedule, and part-time at a hobby shop that aligns with my Sunday-Thursday full-time job. In the beginning of our relationship, cooking was divided evenly between the two of us, as well as household chores. But 3 months ago, one of his coworkers had to retire early, and this has put a lot of stress on my boyfriend because he says he has to do more work. Every Friday, while I am off and he is at work, I would cook dinner for him to come home to and would tidy up the house a bit so he wouldn't have to think about cleaning or cooking on his Friday. Every Sunday night that I work late and he off, he would cook something for me for dinner. Recently though, he has just been doing fast food as our dinner every Sunday, dishes always spilled in the sink, and with all respect, I understand that he is stressed with work, but I was sick and tired of having fast food every Sunday. I missed his home-cooked meals. Yesterday night, I brought it up to him asking him why he doesn't cook anymore on Sundays or in general and how I missed his cooking. He told me, "It is easier to cook like I am single on days that you work late, and then when I pick you up from work, I just grab you something to eat." I was shocked at first, not really knowing what he meant, and asked him to elaborate. He added he doesn't cook for me anymore because I did not eat the last 2 dishes he cooked, and that he doesn't like cooking and eating alone. 1. He made a soup that I had never been a fan of, but it's because he had gotten a slow cooker recently that he wanted to try and make it in the slow cooker. 2. He made a chicken pot pie that did not smell right to me. He even had only 1 square of it, ate it, and didn't touch the rest afterwards. I asked him how he would feel if I just stopped cooking on Fridays and Saturdays for him just because he gets home a little later. He says it is different because he comes home around 4:30 p.m. 5 p.m. depending on traffic, while I get home around 9:45 p.m. Which I do see his point of view, but it is not like I told him he has to eat it alone. We have had dinner at 9:30 beforehand and even later, so I did not understand his thought process of having to eat it alone. This morning, I asked him if he understood why I was upset the night before, and he said no. When I tried to explain how I felt, he told me that I was repeating everything from yesterday and how I need to stop nagging him about cooking on Sunday, and he said, "Tonight's dinner is going to be Jamaican patties and the leftover appetizers from last night from when we had guests over." Now I am at a standstill. I do not know what to do or how to go about this anymore. Do I start only cooking meals for myself and stop cooking meals for him and I? Do I just leave the conversation there with him and never bring it up again? Any advice on how I should go about this? And because anyone suggests anything. 1. I do not wish to break up with him. Our relationship has been good except for this past couple of months. 2. I want actual advice that help me in my relationship. If we are both not going to actively contribute to cooking in the relationship, then we might as well just make our own meals from now on. You can be like a single guy again and I can do my thing for me. I do not wish to break up with him. Our relationship has been good except for this past couple of months. Because he's getting comfortable at showing you who he is. He's never cooking for you again? Because of an occasion where he made something you didn't like and another occasion where he tried to feed you both off chicken. So now you're cooking for both. He couldn't even communicate with you like an adult when he first got upset. He waited until you noticed and started the conversation. How long until he's upset at you over a minor cleaning incident and now you're the only one cleaning? Don't let this guy wear you down. It is easier to cook like I am single. Boy, bye. Honestly, treat him the same way. Don't cook for him. Cook for yourself and then grab him something. Or simply have you two make your own meals from now on. If he acts hurt, remind him he was the one who changed the rules and now he has to deal with it. It's not so much the cooking for me, it's the leaving all of the washing up and kitchen cleaning for her to come home to. That's so inconsiderate. I'd be leaving the cleaning and cooking on a Friday and replacing it with looking for somewhere else to live. He's got you where he wants you and is showing you who he is and how little he cares about you. You tried communicating and he calls it nagging. I don't think this can be fixed. Either accept it or move on.